Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Taranjeet Singh, the co-founder of Innvocon, and we are now back with our fourth episode of the Big Brains. And joining me today is a very special guest. I would say the torch bearer of entrepreneurship in Punjab and the Chandigarh Tri-City region as well, Mr. Somveer Anand. And welcome, Somveer sir, to our podcast, The Big Brains. And thanks a lot for taking out the time and accepting my invitation.
Thanks, Taran. Yeah, Anu, to everyone. And yeah, I'd love to kind of talk to you about, how to get from 0 to 1 quickly.
Fantastic. So, my first question, sir, to you is, what's the most interesting thing happening at IMPunjab currently?
Well, I mean, interesting is actually kind of it can be both negative and positive. So I'll talk about both. I think the wow factor that we all started, the thing that we least expected was the sheer number of people that we are seeing from a tier 3 or tier 4 kind of city, small villages come out and actually be really good entrepreneurs. And these are guys who've chosen to tackle this entire issue of not having enough jobs and not having enough resources by saying that we are going to go and do this ourselves. Apa khud kar lange. They've actually gone and built companies which are going to actually solve real issues, make money, and raise the tide of the entire region, which is very important. I mean, which is also really surprising and really awesome for us to know.
Absolutely. So, we'll start off with talking about you as an entrepreneur. So, graduated from ISB, then you worked with City, Religare, then Adventus Capital, then came back to Punjab to build Pinfish. So, how did this transition happen from a hardcore corporate guy to a sudden transition into entrepreneurship and building one of the, I would say, finest hydroponic tech startups in India?
So, guys, I mean, I'm a complete. If you've seen the Three Idiots movie, I'm one of those guys, right? I did my engineering in Patiala at Thapar. I kind of really enjoyed doing that. I was a mechanical engineer. I worked with Maruti for the next 3 years, based out of Kerala, out of all places. So I was looking after service for North Kerala. Absolutely wonderful time. I loved kind of being there, and just I really enjoyed my work. For some reason, I thought a good time to do an MBA. Did that. Got into finance. I didn't enjoy my first two jobs at all. Aventus was absolutely wonderful. I had a great time. I was in the I was in the US. I was in New York City. And I was newly married, so I don't know which part of it actually contributed to that, but it was a wonderful time of my life. I think in 2015, both Sohila and I decided that we wanted to come back to Punjab and kind of grow old in Chandigarh. That's something that we wanted to do. We weren't very keen on living abroad. Not that it's not a great thing. I mean, listen, guys, a lot of us want to go abroad and want to live in the US or Canada. Go by all means, but make sure that you measure happiness and not just money. So ithe milda hai, jehda sukh uthe milda hai. I mean, wherever you get more happiness, right? So
Exactly.
I did that, and I came back to Punjab and I came back to Chandigarh and I realized that there are no jobs here. There are literally no jobs. The entire, and either you become an entrepreneur or you drink beer and play golf. I mean, there's one of the two things you kind of do,
Right.
Because there's not much to do apart from that. I decided to do the former, and it was my father who started the company. He started this company when he was 60, so he was a true entrepreneur.
Fantastic.
And I mean, and it's not that he didn't have like some tech-led thing. He just went to YouTube, saw a few videos, and said, "Hey, I can do that better." He built it better, figured it out over 4 or 5 years, Indianized the whole thing, packaged it, made it look really cool. And then I took it to step two, which is I took his product and I just layered a huge amount of marketing and then communicating to people who we are, which then became our brand, who we are and why we are doing what we are doing.
Right.
And Pinterest just exploded. And while it exploded, we realized that everybody copied us. So there were like some 30 startups that suddenly copied us. This was during COVID. And we were killing it during COVID. I mean, we were doing 55, 60 lakh rupee sale a month. It was really, it was going fantastic. And then obviously copycats and very few moats around the business. So we had a lot of people doing what we were doing. But at that time, I realized that this business is very shallow, as in the market wasn't there. As India, we keep on saying 1.3 billion people. We are not 1.3 billion people. We are about 80 million people who kind of buy and interact with these techs. And Uday Andar, we were, targeting like a 5-10 million people market, which just wasn't big enough for the kind of effort we wanted to do. It was the VC-led explosion of people, spending all their money on advertisement. So for you to advertise, for us to advertise, when the Nykaa was advertising or Zomato was advertising, and they're different businesses, but you all compete with the same kind of ad space.
Right.
So when these guys had budgets which, seemingly the zeros never finished, my budget was 8,000, 10,000, 20,000, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. I mean, we were very, very, very small.
Right.
So we realized any business which has got a small market and you have to spend a lot of money on customer acquisition, and then that customer acquisition is a one-time purchase because people buy these machines for for a one-time purchase, and repeat purchases are very small, 8, 4, 5, 600 rupees a month, and it's not very regular.
Right.
These businesses are unviable to run.
Fantastic. So, yeah. So, my next question or the conversation would follow involving Innovation Mission Punjab. So, just for our audience and the viewers, if you can just let them know what Innovation Mission Punjab is all about, I guess.
Sure. So the
I guess your yeah. So perfect. So
sorry.
yeah. So what Innovation Mission
Um,
Punjab is all about means how means just for our viewers to know, Mr. Somveer Anand is currently
Great.
the mission director and he's the CEO of Innovation Mission Punjab, one of a kind accelerator, and I've been a part of the first cohort of the accelerator, fortunately. And from your own words, sir, what is the core idea of the accelerator, and how? What is your vision with the help of IMPunjab, the team at IMPunjab? Where do you see the overall entrepreneurship landscape moving?
Sure. So listen, IMPunjab is a Section 8 company. We are a public-private partnership. We have a 5% board, 2 people from the government, 3 are from the now 4 are from the private sector. My chairman is a guy called Pramod Bhasin, an absolutely wonderful gentleman. He built Genpact. I mean, Genpact is this huge. I mean, everyone who's in Delhi, Gurgaon, at least knows Genpact. This is the first
Absolutely.
building in Gurgaon. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to rejuvenate entrepreneurship in Punjab. Jada Punjabi hai na, north of Delhi, we are all entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
North of Delhi, every single person in this region is an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because no one has ever fed us. We've always fed ourselves. We've always done
Exactly.
things ourselves. That need to do things on your own is very, very high.
Absolutely.
And if you look at India, look at Zomato, Ola, you look at Flipkart, look at which are the other ones, Grofers, you look at so many companies, these new age unicorns that have come up. They're all Punjabis. I mean, I'm not even going to your Snap deals. They're all Punjabis.
Exactly.
They're all Punjabis. And they had to leave, and most of them are from Punjab, and they've had to leave Punjab, go to a Delhi, go to a Bombay, go to a Bangalore, and build their companies there. And we are saying that let's build companies in Punjab. Let's
Right.
build them in this region. And north of Delhi is where we are looking at. And this is a wonderful region, very hardworking people, great community. Let's build companies. Let's keep people here. Let's get people back from Canada. Let's get a reverse migration, and let's make sure that we make this place great again.
Absolutely, and I guess on the similar note, we even have a fellow startup at our first cohort, Lovepreet from Countryside Express. He migrated all the way back from Canada to Punjab and has now raised his first check as well. So
Yeah,
that's
and it's a wonderful story. Thanks, Taran, for bringing that up. So Lovepreet came back from Canada, the first cohort. In the second cohort, we've got 3 people who've come back. We've
fantastic.
got 2 startups from outside India. From outside Punjab, no, 3 startups from outside Punjab, 1 from outside India. And the idea is we've got them back to this area. And the thing is how we do it. So we do it by providing probably the best accelerator program, the best market connects that we can provide. And how do we do that? We do that with our unbelievable board. We do that with the unbelievable mentors and advisors we have. I mean, go to the website, you know the kind of people we have.
Absolutely.
And each one of them wants to give back to Punjab. And the last way that we do it is we've built probably the best team the best team that we could build, we have built it out of this area.
Yeah. So actually, my next question was somewhat directed towards the team. I guess you handpicked the team from across India. Abhishek, I guess he was one of the persons leading CIIE at IIM Ahmedabad. Dhaval was leading the Gujarat ecosystem, and others. Supriya is doing fantastically well with marketing, Arshdeep and Shagun as well. So, how did you build the team? Means I would label IMPunjab as a newborn startup organization and building a team for a startup. So, what was the secret sauce about building such a great team? And obviously, to mention with 100% retention and zero attrition over the last 1 year.
Ocean's 11. So we literally built our team like that. We went and got superstars that we thought would be able to kind of add value in every particular thing. So let me be specific. So Abhishek kind of led one thing, Dhaval was somewhere else. We thought that we are going to get the best brains in this area. We went out there. These guys saw the opportunity, and we said we will do things together. Now there are two parts of this, Taran. The first is when you find someone, you bring him on. That's the easy part. The second part is you have to give that guy, that person, that those bunch of people, the complete freedom.
Absolutely.
The complete freedom to implement that idea. Because if you're sitting on their head and saying, yeah, I think that should be green, or I think that should be 4 chairs, or I think that should be done on the 18th, then you kind of, it's not the right thing to do. So what we did was we made sure that everyone who's working is an absolute freedom to do what. First of all, freedom to kind of think and voice their ideas. Because a lot of people, a lot of organizations we know think and then don't think. Do
Exactly.
you do what you're being told to do? Whereas what we try to do was we tell them that you guys have to go and encourage others to think. If you don't think, how will others think?
Exactly.
So to be honest, on a daily basis, I get 10 nonsensical ideas, and then I give 10 nonsensical ideas back. And it's within this khichdi of nonsense that we get one or two really, really awesome ideas that come out.
Exactly.
And then when those come out, as a team, we realize, yeah, this is why we are there. And each one does something different. Whereas Dhaval anchors a particular part, Arshdeep works with a particular group of people, Shagan works with a particular group of people, Adhiraj's real strengths are in communicating with the youth. Ranbir manages the back end. Ashish is a solid guy who manages our ops. I mean, the thing is that each one of these guys. Can you imagine? We got a girl, we got a lady, an absolutely wonderful person from HLL to come and do our marketing for us. Unbelievable. And we got her because of tradition, of custom. She got married to someone in Chandigarh, so she went from Bombay back to Chandigarh. Had nothing to do over here. We said, why don't you come and work with us? So sometimes God is kind to you. Sometimes God is kind to you. And but let me just kind of preface this. I too was hired in this team, and the person who hired me, Parna, was the one who kind of made this entire, thing. So it's very, very important to to not only hire the right people, but also be open and communicative and just give freedom to do what you want.
Absolutely, sir. Means on that part, on the team part, I can testify that means being a part of the first cohort, being one of the 15 startups selected, means I have been in this startup ecosystem since last 4 years. Have worked, have engaged with multiple accelerators and incubators as well. But the team is so means the ease with which we can reach out to the team and with the ease with which they provide the resources as well as they respond clearly defines that each of the person is moving with a specific vision, has the backing, has a great backing, means they have a set of similar thought processes, and they know what they are doing and what they want to build and what they want to contribute altogether to the economy as well as the startup ecosystem. And
Absolutely.
moving ahead, sir, on a similar lines, Punjab, where do you see Punjab as an investment hub and Mohali, Chandigarh as the next big startup hub of India? Means there are currently, I guess, according to my observations or the research, there are close to 560 startups operating in Mohali and Chandigarh right now. And how do you see Punjab evolving as a investment hub for startups, and Chandigarh and Mohali region altogether growing as the next startup hub of India.
Um, I see Mohali becoming, no, I don't see Mohali becoming a Bangalore. I see Mohali becoming a Mohali. And I see Mohali becoming a Mohali on steroids within the next 5, 10 years. Simply, I mean, you've been here. Just look at the development that's happening nearby.
Right.
But I'm going to kind of move away from that into something slightly different. I'm going to use a few more data points, right? So when you look at Punjab, the average farmer in Punjab is today 47 years old.
Right.
Farming cannot continue at the same intensive kind of way that it was happening at one time anymore in this area. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Um, we will need to mechanize, we will need to go up the value chain, we will need to do all that. Now, while all that is happening in a field which is today employing nearly 70 to 80% of our people, I mean, in some form of the other, either directly or indirectly, um, 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 what do the rest of the people do? So the the what we are seeing in the market today is that we are seeing a lot of people who want to stay back and build companies in Punjab, but they're moving from a Ludhiana outskirts or a Jalandhar outskirts rather than to Ludhiana, Jalandhar, they're moving to Chandigarh, they're moving to
Exactly.
Mohali. And the entire area is just kind of growing bigger and bigger and bigger. But so that's the first kind of first two data points. And the third one is, so first is that the people, the traditional occupation of the people is not going to work too long because farmers are getting older, it's
Right.
just getting more difficult. Second is we're seeing a lot of internal migration happening towards this region. And the third thing is where we are today. So I'm sitting in ISB as of today. And so, I was here, so I took the call here. There are about 10 institutes of eminence within a 2-hour drive from this area.
Absolutely.
ISER, ISB, IIT Mohal, Ropar, you have Plaksha, you have Thapar University, you have Amity now, you have PGI, you have IIT Mandi, you have IIM Amritsar. So the idea is this entire region is kind of uh, has uh, the scientific bent of mind, people with the scientific bent of mind, people in the who are actually building great research projects, products. And then when you kind of dovetail that with the fact that we are fantastic in building small light engineering products, I think this area is just going to explode when it comes to startups building real products. Mohali is seeing a great amount of investment in medical devices, for example. We are going to be building India's best heart rate monitors. We're going to be building India's best respirators, all out of this one region. And it usually happens with a catalyst company.
Exactly.
And that's the last data point that I wanted to give you, is that we now have catalyst companies. So we have a Tynor, for example, which is anchoring the entire medical device industry around it. I have so I think this will just cement this entire area's growth. I'm pretty sure that we are going to become. Well, I don't know about Bangalore, but we will become a killer Mohali in the next 5 years.
Absolutely. Without a
Hey,
question,
listen,
without a doubt. Yeah.
Taran,
So,
yeah, but Taran, let me, it's easy. Words are cheap. Words are cheap. I moved back from the US to this area because I know this is going to do well. Sukmeet, who's sitting opposite me, moved back to this area because he knew it's going to do well. We have three more colleagues who moved back to Punjab because they know that this is where the next kind of thing is. So
absolutely.
we have seen people put their weight behind the words.
Without a doubt, sir, without a doubt, something I believe that something was there in the city or within the region, or maybe with the zeal of the people or the business that companies are establishing the business out there, that we moved our base from Delhi to now Mohali. We proudly say that we are now a Mohali-based company building with love from Punjab for the world now. So.
Nice.
Coming back to team building, so you built
Yeah.
an entire team, scaled the product and the company at Pinfresh, and now you
Yeah.
build this team, handpick the people, the best entrepreneurial brains in India, So, what kind of difference did you see in terms of obviously both the companies, both the organizations reach a specific scale, and optimistically, IM Punjab is doing well, will do well as well. So, what are your, I would say, perception on team building? Means how did it change while building Pinfresh and now building IM Punjab? So, what were the, I would say, more specifically learnings that you gained building Pinfresh, and how did you implement it very well at IM Punjab?
So So I stopped doing Pinfresh full time about 2 years ago, and so I'll give you the story around that. So when I started doing Pinfresh, it was me, my dad, and our driver, right? So this driver's kind of grown up with me. So he's my friend. He's my age. We grew up from two to now. We're kind of been together. So it's three of us who built the entire company. When we needed to start hiring people, I went to this great organization in Mohali, where they actually train people from the villages to come and work in offices. Unfortunately, they train them to be delivery boys and they train them to work as front office receptionist staff and so on. What we went and did was we got one of these kids and we said, "Yeah, I will teach you a little bit. And do you know how to use the computer?" He said, "Sir, मेरे को computer आता है." I said, "Great." This was 6 years ago. Today, he's the CEO of my company.
Fantastic.
He's 25 years. He makes more money than his brother and his father. And this one kid went. Now, when I was building my team there, I only looked for learnability, for nothing else. I said these guys should be learnable. उनको आना चाहिए. We made a few mistakes because we did hire a lot of people who were very interested in learning, because that's the only criteria I want. The guy should be wanting to better himself. Because then when I came back, I didn't want to work anymore. I just wanted to retire. I just wanted to kind of live that bohemian life where I go to the farm in the morning. I kind of grow a 2 acre farm, grow a little bit of tomatoes, grow a little bit of अपना छोटा सा काम करो. So I thought we'll kind of help train people to at least थोड़ा सा respect. They should be able to respect themselves. कि मैं पीछे नहीं रह गया. So, we did that. We made a few mistakes. There were a few unethical people. And we realized at the end that, ethics is something which happens both at the lower end, at the higher end. It doesn't really matter. At
Absolutely.
Pinfresh, we were building a team. We were paying people. We started paying them. We started paying them 8,000 rupees a month. Today, we have three people who manage the entire team, and they get paid 70,000 bucks as a whole. So we've increased this. And one of these girls is a maid. She used to be a maid she used to clean houses in the locality. And I told her, I don't want you to clean anyone's house from today. You will sit in the office, you will pack my stuff, you will pack this, you will do that, you will learn a skill. You will learn something so that tomorrow, when you're independent, you don't have to rely on manual labor. You can go and use your head and say, yeah, I will try selling something. Now, all these people train themselves. One knows how to use accounting, for example. Full accounting he's kind of learned. The other one knows how to build stuff. It was a very different thing. When we wanted to kind of hire the team at the higher end, so Tarun, we have very, very, like I look at all my associates and I tell them that you've got literally 6 more months to be employed with me. After 6 months, I'm going to throw you out because you need to move on to step two, which is either go build a company, do your MBA, be a professional, do something else. So
Right.
even in our company now, all we want to do is learnability. I want to make sure that anyone who touches us or anyone who's within this company, including me, when they leave at a position higher than what they came, both mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. You should just be a stronger person before versus what you came in. And the second thing is you should want to give back to your organization. So these are the two ways we built our teams. At the lower end, we just said आपको सीखना है, अगर आपको कुछ करना है तो आपकी opportunity है. At the higher end, we said अगर आपको कुछ सीखना है, अगर आपको कुछ करना है तो opportunity है. Both we used the same kind of tactic and we got wonderful people. So Gurinder leads my entire company. He leads Pinfresh. I don't even know what's going on. Once in 6 months, he tells me to sir, make a mail likh do about some delay. I said, what? Then I know why he's asking me because when I write to him, he copies my email ID and sends it out to his client. And these kids are really, really smart that way. So
Absolutely.
that's how we build both teams.
Yeah. So another question, again on human capital. Uh, we talked about reverse migration, right? People from across India, they are moving abroad in search of jobs or maybe higher education, better lifestyle. So, but the rate of people migrating out of Punjab is relatively higher. So, um, what means in terms of this IM Punjab as a PPP partnership, what role altogether the industry, I won't label either a company or an ecosystem altogether, what role can the entire ecosystem play in bringing back yeah, our own human resources, the people back to India, back to Punjab, and not just as entrepreneurs, maybe also as the people who can help these new age startups grow and scale with their experience in the foreign markets.
So there are two parts to this, and I'll kind of try answering this quickly. So the first part is people who have gone because of fashion. कि सारे जा रहे हैं ते मैं भी जा रहे हैं.
Right.
In you go to school today, there are 100 kids, 1995 are given the idols and are going abroad. It's the same reason why when we were young and we were kind of doing our engineering, trying to think, everyone joined FITGI. Whether you're going to go into IIT or you don't even want to get into IIT or not, or whether you want to do architecture or something after that, you would join FITGI because the whole world is joining FITGI.
Right.
ये वो भेड़ चाल होती है. The Punjab, there is a huge part of this. People haven't west of and they are going to Canada suddenly. Guys who have never left Punjab suddenly want to travel 4 continents away into an area. And I tell them, I said, listen, go by all means, but realize that there is nothing over there. That you have to build something over there. It's not that there's a buffet laid out and you're going to suddenly land and start, get. So people who are going from here with no skills, with absolutely no desire to hard work, just to kind of escape or just to kind of be a part of the whole fashionable industry of getting over there.
Right.
Well, I don't even know if I want them back, to be honest. Because they have a lot of soul searching on their own kind of thing. But people who are going because of the opportunities over here, people who are going because ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਯਾਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਕੁਝ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ we've got we're opening up opportunities on a daily basis, whether it is the innovation mission, whether it is there are 4 or 5 different organizations working in Punjab, and we are saying that, listen, we will open opportunities for you. But everyone talks and no one does anything. So we've said that all you need to do is register on IMPunjab, and we go through a process. And that process will determine whether we can accelerate you now or we can accelerate you in a year or in a 2-year thing. Because the kind of applications we are getting, we get about 200 applications for 14 spots on the accelerator program. You were one of the 14. So it's getting tougher now. The first was slightly easy. I'll kind of say that. The second was slightly tougher. The third is we've got 100 applications already. So we are now seeing that people want to stay back, and people are coming from the US. We're getting people from Australia. We're getting people from the US. We should get some from Canada as well, and that'll kind of complete it. But we are seeing people who are saying that, yeah, my life here is great, but let's build a company, let's build it out of Punjab for Punjab, solving local issues over there.
Exactly.
Because they see that a lot of value doing that.
Right. So on the similar lines, means मैं personally आज तक नहीं देखा कि any organization or maybe the government or a industry or the ecosystem altogether has come up with such a unique PPP model. And means how did the idea came up? And obviously, I can bet that in the entire Punjab or in the Chandigarh, Mohali Tri-City, Panchkula Tri-City region as well, there couldn't have been a better person apart from you leading IM Punjab. And
No, it's Taran, you're being very nice. The team is what makes it happen. We are, and Pramod is kind of pulls all the shots at the high end. Everybody else pulls the shots at the low end. I come into interviews, so each one has their specialized jobs for them. IM Punjab, see, we worked under now 3 chief ministers. We worked under 4 chief secretaries, and we've got support from everyone. So everyone realizes that we are going to build this out here. We're going to do this out here, and the so we have to see from both ends. I think the government usually doesn't want to work with organizations like this because they say they can't see much of what's happening. It's all opaque. So what we do is we are black and white. We say that Punjab had 50 registrations. Today it has 5,000 registrations, and these are
Right.
startups, the startup India. If we say that Punjab had 5 investors, in the last demo day we got nearly 60 investors. I mean, we've got investors who built 10 unicorns. I mean, these guys have literally built companies all over India, and we got them into this great state for the
Right.
first time. We've got our mentors. They come from all over India. So what we are showing the government, what we are showing the people is that यार my resolve is there. मैं तो करके रहूँगा. ये तो टीम मेरी करके रहेगी. इन्होंने सब.
Right.
इन्होंने किसी ने they are not. I mean, they all can get fantastic jobs outside. Don't get me wrong. Each one of them comes from a very solid background of education. Guys from Ashoka, guys from Christ. Guys worked at fancy companies. So each of them comes from extremely good backgrounds. We are going to do it. Whether you want to get it done to you voluntarily or involuntarily is up to you. But we are going to accelerate this. We are going to make sure you succeed, because in your success, if you succeed, then my daughters will also stay in Punjab,
Right.
and I'll die a happy man. So I am
Fantastic.
also very selfish in that way.
Fantastic. So a question related to the second cohort, first cohort actually. So
Okay.
bringing the investors means like Kawaljeet sir came from Fireside Ventures, bringing Jasminder Gulati sir. So getting these stalwarts for the second cohort, I believe was relatively easier than getting them on board or come for the demo day than for the first cohort, because we were doing it for the first time and we were showcasing what the untapped potential the state of Punjab holds. So,
Hmm.
how did it happen? Means you brought Jasminder Gulati sir, you brought people from Lucknow Incubator, and from
Yeah.
Arjun Rao sir from Special Invest.
Yeah.
A special mention to Utkarsh Joshi sir. Right. So, how did you get all these people for the first cohort? Means, just would say posing a USP of IMPunjab as a new startup organization, bringing the first customers, that is investors on board to sell the product, that is the incubate accelerated startups. There. How did it happen?
So we use the F network. So whenever people are raising money, we tell them only 3 kinds of people give you money in the first round: friends,
Yeah.
families, and fools. So what we did was Utkarsh and I Utkarsh and I did an MBA together. Rowdy and I did an MBA together, and Arjun and I play poker every day. Jasminder Gulati is an absolutely wonderful human being, and I
Without
immediately
it.
appealed to his giving back to Punjab ki yaar tusi ta hun bana le paise, now you
Uh,
give back to my state.
uh,
Kanwaljit, I mean, can you imagine? We called him up and we said, sir, this is for Punjab. It is not for me. It is not for anybody else. Can you imagine a man just gives up, says, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to come and I'm going to do this for the state.
yeah.
This is the love people. I'm so sorry, you might have to beep some of these words out. But I'm saying that this is the kind of love people have for the state. That when we are kind of appealing to their good nature and telling them that, we are going to be able to we want to get this done. We want to save the state. We want to be able to get that everyone comes. Pramod knows most of these guys. I mean, Saurabh Srivastav is on my board, so Indian Angel Network will come. Naina Lal Kidwai is on our advisory board. So when we ask someone like her, they come. So the idea is that, or they send someone. So the idea is that we use everyone we knew, every favor we could pull, everywhere we worked, and we said, please come. पहली बार तो तुसी आओ, see what we do.
That's
Second time you come because of the work we've done.
agreed.
And you're very right, it became very, very, very easy second time.
Right. So Punjab predominantly is known as a agriculture state. So the perception of the people or the world outside would be that what startups would come out of Punjab? Primarily agri-tech startups. And it's true that we have great agri-tech startups working here. Taranjeet Singh Bamra sir built AG Next, great. And but we do have means the startup from all the domains. Himanshu is building EV startup, and again Harminder to mention is building IoT based agri-tech startup again. Sahil Bansal and Mehakdeep, they are building and have raised significantly $1.5 million. They are building Fitalo out of Mohali. So,
Yeah.
how do we change in a short span of time, let's say within a span of 2 years, how can we change that perception and give a message out to the world there that Punjab obviously is a predominantly agriculture supported economy, but the products or the companies that we can build out is you label it and we'll build it for you.
So that's actually a great question. So let me kind of answer that in a couple of ways, and might be slight controversy around this. So, agri-tech startups don't work in wheat rice belts. जे तुसी सिर्फ चौना चावल उगा रहे होते फिर मतलब if you're growing wheat and rice, then you don't need an agri-tech startup. You need an MSP price from the government, and that's what nearly most of our farms do. Agri-tech startups work very well when you're growing roses and grapes and quinoas and really high value-added crops. Agri-tech startups do really well where there is less water and less resources. Punjab se pani and no one gives a damn. Tube well fine and they put the tube well on the run. So agri-tech startups do come out of here a little bit, but they're not solving problems of Punjab. And we've now realized that nearly all our big startups that we are seeing here are not in agri-tech. They're in either they are doing what I call high, lifestyle businesses or high growth businesses as people call them, but I call them lifestyle businesses, growing at 10, 15, 18% a year, making top lines, profit margins of 30, 40, 50%, growing at, 5, 8, 10 crore kind of turnover. These will be the MSMEs of tomorrow. This is what's happening in the agri kind of space over here. But every other startup in this region is non-agri based. We have beauty-led products. We have a lot of lifestyle products. We have high-tech, AI, ML-led products. We've got the guy who used to lead the business AI unit for Microsoft in Seattle, the guy who kind of did this whole Chat GPT and NVIDIA, and he's kind of part of all this. He was here in Mali. He's talking to our guys. And then we're realizing that at least 10 startups being built out of here in the AI ML space. We are building, there's a company here which is incorporated a month ago. India's first AI movie, the whole goddamn movie will be based on just inputs. And the story is that Maharaja Ranjit Singh goes and let's say captures Europe, right? There's a reverse kind of a colonization. And the AI is able to tell us rather than us thinking, how that thing will be.
Exactly.
So instead of you and me calling each other sir, those goras are calling each other janab, right? So I mean that's the kind of difference that happens, and that's happening here. And I don't know if you can see that. I'm so excited because all these things are happening based out of Mohali. It's happening 10 kilometers from where I am. Mohali is going to explode, bro. It's going to become really, really big. But more importantly, I don't care about the state. I mean the city per se or the property values. I care about the people, and the people are going to be. We're finally giving them what we promised them. We promised them a lot of cleanliness, a lot of happiness, no corruption. It's going to finally happen through startups.
Absolutely, without a question, without a question. So we'll close the session. Although I wanted to stretch the conversation as long as I could, but time constraints. My last question before we end the session, sir. With your experience of building two high growth, high scale organizations, to the aspiring entrepreneurs listening out there, or the early stage startup founders listening out there, your just message to come to Punjab, obviously inviting them to Punjab to build from this great land, and also about building their initial teams. So means, yeah.
I'm going to start. So I basically, first of all, I want you to be truthful to yourself, to everybody out there. Are you building a startup? Or are you building a high growth business? Or are you building a lifestyle business? It is as important to put up a Karyane Dukan as it is to build up a high tech AI-led, ML-led startup, right? They both are equally important. So figure out what are you doing, and the ways to figure this out is what is going to keep you happy. You go the Japanese way. What is going to keep you happy? What is good for the environment? What is good for the people? Does it make you money? Figure out what you're building. If you are building a high growth startup versus a high growth business versus a tech led startup, which is a SaaS led, the hundreds of products are there, one of them will become really big and you could be one. So that's a lottery that you're playing. Figure out what you're actually doing. That is really, really important. Once you figure out what you're doing, and if you can't figure out what you're doing, please come to Punjab. We will do it for you. So IMPunjab specializes in this to explain to you ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, because each one of us is doing something important. No one is bigger or lesser than the other. Second thing is, once we know what we are doing, we will hire our teams, we will build our strategies accordingly. There is no dearth of money in the market today. If you need to do R&D, if you need to do, there's lots of ways to make money. And entrepreneurs figure out a way. Look at you. Look at what you're doing, right? This is fantastic. I mean, these are the ways to kind of increase ability for other people to know who we are and what we are doing. So
Absolutely.
entrepreneurs find a way. Figure out what you're doing, figure out what you want to do, hire the team accordingly. There is no dearth of money in the market. There's the only lacuna, the only kind of problem is executability.
Exactly.
We all are chaudharis, we think we are superstars, but the execution taka time aanda na, it becomes very tough.
Absolutely, sir.
So that's
Without
the last thing I'll kind of stay in mind is words are cheap, actions are very, very important. Gala sare kar dene, execution is very, very important. So guys, come to Punjab, build out of here. We'll help you do all this and we'll help you execute as well.
Absolutely. Spot on, sir. Spot on. And without a question, without a doubt, I believe that Punjab and Mohali, especially because we are building out of Mohali, has that potential in terms of the funds that it can give, the other resources, and the human capital, the human resources, especially. You name it, and you'll get it out of this city. So, I, as an entrepreneur, building out of Mohali and have been a participant of IMPunjab, I'm very confident about the unicorns, the Sunicons coming out of Mohali, and Invocon would that Invocon be one of them, the one of the first unicorns to come out of Punjab. So thanks a lot, Somveer sir. Great conversation, great interacting with you, and thanks a lot for the insights on entrepreneurship, on team building, on reverse migration, on the potential of Punjab, and what the future holds for India as well as the land of the five rivers. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Taran. Thank you, everybody. Jai Anu.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.